Hey guys, so quick video here. I'm just going to go over a quick overview of the different body systems that you're expected to have at least some understanding of. Okay. And so here's a quick list. We have the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the digestive system, the excretory system, the nervous system, and the immune system. So the respiratory system is the part of our body, or the parts of our body, that are responsible for exchanging gases to and from the exterior environment. Right? And these gases are oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is coming in, so we can do cellular respiration. That process produces carbon dioxide, and we want to get that out of our body, so we breathe that out. A huge player in this, of course, is our lungs. And our lungs are where the actual gas exchange is occurring between our blood and the air. So we're taking the oxygen into our lungs, and that goes into our blood and moves around our body to our cells where it's needed. And the CO2 is going from our lungs into that air cavity and being exhaled. The tubes that connect our lungs to our mouth and our nose are the trachea, the larynx, and the pharynx. Right, so all this tube stuff in here are those things. And of course, our nose and our mouth is where the air is exchanged to the environment. Pretty simple. The circulatory system is the system that is moving blood around our body. The blood is carrying important things like oxygen, important things like food nutrients that we get from our digestive system, and it's pumping throughout our body, bringing things to our cells that our cells need, and removing waste from those cells and bringing them to the excretory system. And so obviously the heart is a huge player in that. The heart is physically pumping the blood. And so the heart pumps the blood through the arteries, which brings blood to our body. That blood is pressurized by the heart. The blood is then moved into really, really thin tubes called capillaries. Right? So these capillaries thin enough where the blood can actually exchange the nutrients with the cells. So stuff can leave the cells and get the blood, into the blood rather, and stuff can leave the blood and get into the cells at this capillary layer. And then that blood then moves into the veins, which move back towards the heart. The veins are not pressurized. The vein blood is moved when our muscles squish it. So our muscles move, they squish the veins around them, pushes the blood back up towards the heart. The digestive system breaks down the food that we eat. Okay, so we have mechanical digestion like chewing and churning. And we have chemical digestion that's occurring with enzymes. And then once that food is broken down, the absorption of those nutrients is also the responsibility of the digestive system. Right? So we have the mouth, the esophagus, and the stomach all breaking down the food. And then we have the small intestine absorbing the nutrients. Once all that good stuff is sucked out of the food item, the bolus, the chewed up gooey food ball, it's moved into the large intestine where some of the water is sucked out of it because we don't want to lose that water. Right? We want to keep that water. Water is good for us. And then it exits the body. We have the excretory system, which is the system that's responsible for removing waste from inside the body. Right? And so that tube that connects our mouth to our anus is not actually inside our body. Right? That's like a hole that runs through our body. Okay, so that's not the excretory system. The excretory system is removing stuff that's actually inside of our body tissues. Right? And so the major players in this are the liver, which removes toxins from our blood, the kidneys, which filter out those toxins, right? And then move those toxins with water into our bladder, which we then pee out through the urethra. And then our skin is also an important mechanism for excreting different wastes through our pores and sweat glands. Then we have the nervous system, which is responsible for sensing the world around us as well as responding to that world. Right? And so our nervous system is made up of specific cells, or specialized cells rather, called neurons. Those neurons are able to be triggered by different types of stimuli, and that triggering is processed by our brain and allows us to assess our conditions based on which neurons are being triggered by what kind of stimuli. Right? We have the central nervous system, which is the brain stem, that's the word I was looking for, and the spinal cord. We have the peripheral nervous system, which is all of the nerves that run to the rest of the body. Okay. Nervous system. We have the immune system, which combats foreign pathogens that enter our body and otherwise regulates cell health. For instance, it helps keep cancer at bay when it's working properly, things like that. Right? And so a major player in that is our skin. Right? The easiest way to not get sick is to keep the sickness out, and our skin plays a major role in that. Right? So if you have things like burns or cuts, then you're far more likely to get infections because those pathogens can enter through those open spots. Right? When our skin is intact, it does a really good job of keeping bad things out. If things do get into our system, we have specific cells that are capable of killing, if they're bacteria, killing them, or neutralizing them if they're viruses. Right? And so there's T cells and B cells, which I will go into in a different video because we haven't covered these yet this year. And then finally, an extra system that I didn't have on the list above, I was just going to get a quick mention, is the endocrine system. And this is the system that's responsible for regulating our hormones. Right? It's composed of all the different glands in our body that make hormones, that do hormone-y things. Cool? So those are the systems you need to know. Again, this was just a quick overview, basically just a list and a rundown of what each does. Cool? Cool. Bye.